welcome Padam Shri Dr. Anil Rajvanshi, who's our guest of honor today. A very versatile professional. His his achievements actually are reminiscent of neighbor's envy, owner's pride. He born and brought up in Lucknow, and that's what I share with him. Not born, but brought up in Lucknow. And he's my school type St. Francis. So therefore, that's the common denominator, but that's where it finishes. Then, of course, he's been IITian. There is a bachelor's and master's from there and PhD from University of Florida, way back in 1979. Today, he's the director of Nimkar Agricultural Research Institute at Paltan, Maharashtra. But his journey of 40 years has been very illustrious, where his focus has been on renewable energy, based systems, power generation, using agricultural residues, innovative water technologies, electrical cycles, and most of all in all, he's been actually focusing on high-end technology and its employment and deployment in rural areas. That's been his focus, which won him a lot of accolades. The Jamnalal Bajaj Award, which he got in 2001, Solar Hall of Fame Award, Picky Award, Globe Forum Award. He's the first Indian to receive the Distinguished Alumni Award from University of Florida, from IIT Kanpur, and last year he was also amongst the 100 great IITians in the service of the nation. And of course, Padam Shri, which was conferred on him in 2022 for distinguished service as one of the highest civilian awards, which indeed is a great pride for us. So welcome once again, and without much ado, I think I'll now invite Padam Shri Dr. Anil Rajvanshi to deliver his keynote address.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant General Kapoor. It is so nice to be introduced by a fellow Lucknowi and San Franciscan. And let me share my presentation. This is the first time I'm going through this platform, so please, can you see? Can you see my?
We can see, but I think you need to put on the slideshow.
Is it all right?
No.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible, but it's not yet gone on the slideshow, but we can see it, no problem.
Slideshow, okay, so I need to...
Yes, sir. At the bottom you can
yes. Computer is slow. Has it come?
No, yes, sir. Not yet.
My goodness, I'm so sorry for this. Because
maybe you can
when I click
sharing,
on...
you can share again.
Huh?
So maybe you can just try stop sharing, okay. And then while again sharing, you can choose that full screen option.
Okay. I don't know why it's not
now we can see the slides. You can continue
okay.
with it, if there is still
an
issue.
Now it has
come. Now that's better, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Raghuveer Pai for inviting me as a chief guest for this lecture. I had told him when he invited me that I'd known nothing about asset management, and yet he persisted. So if I do not make any sense, you all have to blame him. And but now, so from a little bit of what the introduction is, it's a very amazing society, and I am really thankful that I came to know a little bit about it. And you must all be congratulated for doing a wonderful work. Now, Foundation Day talks are either about the organization or about the work of the speaker. Since I know very little about your organization, I will speak about my work and hopefully try to show how it may be applicable to your theme. Besides my technological work, which I don't think General Kapoor mentioned, I also think and write about spirituality. And so this talk will be mostly about the philosophy, because if we get our philosophy correct, then a lot of other things follow from it. I believe spirituality helps us get a certain perspective in life, and one of which is to reduce greed, and that has repercussions on asset management. I firmly believe in this maxim that we all came naked in this world and we'll leave it naked. So why there is a need to amass huge assets? That should be the guiding principle in all our asset creation and management strategies. So if we develop and use assets for our needs and not for our greed, then we can make this world a very happy and sustainable place to live in. Besides, it will also simplify asset management since we will create fewer of them. I, on my part, have tried to live a sustainable life by following Gandhiji's dictum, be the change you want to see in the world. And I would like to share some of it with you today. So I live, when I came back from the United States, Fulton was such a small, overgrown village. It is a taluka town that for every small thing we had to run. I had to hop on the bus and go to Pune. In fact, to make a phone call, I had to sometimes hop on the bus, go to Pune, make phone calls, and come back. When we came in '81, this was the place where I'm showing you my house was a totally barren place. So we built this house. It was a Janoon. In fact, but it's also a very great thing that I, from IIT Kanpur, uh, most of the Silicon Valley is now populated by my classmates and they are big owners. And I left everything. And in a fit of madness, Janoon, and nonsense, basically, I came to rule India. Arrogance, thinking that I will change India. India is a very ancient civilization. It did not change, but it changed me. It taught me spirituality, humility, and sustainable living. And that is what I will like to share with you. The details of how I live is on this website, that is on the top of the slide. And I've been living here for the last 40 years. We cool our building by passive cooling. I put gunny sacks. They are sprayed by 2 times a day by sprinkler, and the walls are 18 inches thick. And when the outside temperatures are of 45 degrees Celsius, inside is cool 28, 29. And we have been living for the last 40 years in this. Our institute structure is also like that. We have the roof cooling, and we recycle everything. And since I'm an engineer, I have calculated, I have measured my per capita energy and my other consumption, and I like to share with you. So my energy consumption is around 37.4 gigajoule per year, or approximately 1/8 that used by an average American. And this has been possible because of a lot of innovative things, very simple living, high thinking. And we are not living in a very rudimentary manner. I am talking with you through this internet, and we communicate extensively, and we spread our word through the internet. We consume much less water than Americans, or around 180 liters per person per day. And we have started recently a very interesting work of rainwater harvesting and using it for drinking purposes. We have set up 2 units in the rural schools here in near Fulton. The children of these rural schools, very poor children, their water is horrible. And if we measured all the E. coli, we measured all the different things, and we feel that this is the first time they have gotten very clean drinking water with the WHO standards. And if this succeeds, then we would like to spread it all over Maharashtra. Our plastic consumption is just 6 to 9 kilogram per year, or again 1/10 used by US. In fact, Singapore has the highest plastic consumption of 76 kilogram per year. And the reason why this plastic consumption is much less because we use everything in our cotton bags, and most of the things that we consume is grown around our area, and so our lot of energy consumption is reduced drastically. And we feel that with our energy consumption pattern, one earth is sufficient for all of us to have a very good life. But if we go with the US consumption, then it will be 4 earths are needed. And I believe that the possible to live in a sustainable and emotionally satisfying way by reducing greed and spirituality can help. The reason I'm giving you this example is because I feel that if we start from the basics by how we can reduce our energy consumption, how we can live in a sustainable manner, then it has a tremendous impact on the asset management. I don't own anything. Whatever money I had gotten in America, I bought some shares. Uh, uh, the lifestyle is simple, so you don't require too much money. And this is my how I live. Now you can see that uh, in the industrial society, we produce assets for help in running it, but most of the times they are created in the most unsustainable manner. For example, we see large industrial buildings and offices in India covered in glasses. The solar energy and outside heat penetrates the glass, heats the building, and tremendously increases the AC load. The first slide is about Accenture in, I think, in Bangalore. The second slide is about Pune, and the third slide down is the scene from Delhi. And there is also very little tree cover and polluting industries, vehicle systems. So it's a very unsustainable development. In fact, when I bought the land, in fact, we got the land at a throwaway price because it was a very barren land. We planted trees, and today it is like a tropical forest with around 40 different types of birds, a lot of snakes, sometimes the lot of jackals. We had a leopard sighting last year, but we have not seen leopard near our house. So these are the things, this is how you should live in nature. And the way we are living, we are producing infrastructures without thinking. It is basically for our vanity and our greed that we are creating a horrendous problem for mankind. Similarly, as you said, all around us, we see examples of assets creations which are unsustainable, and then we talk and think of managing them. These are examples of assets creation for our greed and vanity and not for our needs. Technologies are moving in the direction of producing more efficient systems so that overall carbon footprint and energy can be reduced, but our greed outpaces our technological progress. So unless and until we curb our greed, the asset creation and management will be very unsustainable. Yet we can progress on asset creation and ultimately its management by following nature. And this is called biomimicry. And so, in my work, since not only we developed technologies, we were the first one to, in fact, the whole biomass energy program of the country came from our work in 1990s. In fact, 2000 megawatt of biomass energy plants are set up. We also set up the first loose sugarcane leaf biomass gasifier. The whole Maharashtra is still today burns because after the sugarcane is harvested for the getting the land ready, the waste disposal problem is lighting the fire of the sugarcane leaves. It is a tremendous loss of energy. It pollutes the air. So we developed the gasifier. So when we are developing all these things, I said, how are we going to have a strategy? What should be the strategy for development? And this is the two slides, the two diagrams that I show. And this is how nature evolves. In fact, anytime nature or anything evolves, initially there is a huge size. And as the system becomes more and more efficient, then the size becomes less and the efficiency increases. In our own way, we are the production from dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were huge inefficient machines, and as we became better and more efficient, we became humans and much smaller. And the same way all our technologies are also expanding, going. So high technology is, I believe high technology is needed for every aspect of development, and there's a need to maximize efficiency, which is basically called frugal innovations, or more from less for more. And that is what somebody in the Harvard talked about. And this is what I feel we should be following. This strategy allows maximum extraction of materials and energy from dilute local available renewable sources like solar, biomass, wind. And the hallmark of evolution is size reduction, increased efficiency, room temperature process. This is the most important thing. All our technologies today run at a very high temperature. When we produce electricity, when we do so many things, all our combustion systems, our cars, everything, they run at a very high temperature. Nature does not do that. In fact, a classical example is bioluminescence of a firefly. I don't think you have seen a firefly running at 3000 or 2000 degrees Celsius. Everything has evolved to run at room temperature. And this is how we should be evolving. The reason why I'm telling you all this is because if we focus on such systems, then our asset creation becomes very efficient. It goes through only for our needs and not for our greed. And the management also becomes very simple and manageable. And so modern designs are slowly following this route. Cell phones, power plants, they were all very big sizes when they were produced, and now they're becoming so small that we can hardly see it, especially our cell phones, our these devices in the ear, and our power plants are also becoming smaller and much more efficient. And asset creation and management should follow this strategy. And finally, my last slide, because I don't have too much time, is our biggest challenge in creating sustainable assets and subsequently managing them is to reduce our greed for energy and resources. Is a greed which is the biggest impediment for sustainable development. As Gandhiji said, we have enough for our needs, but not for our greed. And I feel that spirituality helps in putting a curb on our greed. It provides us wisdom and gives us a perspective in life. And this is what I uh, pursue in my life, and I give lectures all over the country to youngsters, because if we reduce our greed, then we can start putting that energy into much more creative activity of producing efficient assets which can be managed properly. And I believe that for the future of India, we should have a new paradigm of development. We should be spirituality with high technology. It produces sustainability and happiness. And this is the title of my latest book, Exploring the Mind of God. I have made all my books freely available on the net, and I hope some of you will have the inclination to read them. And if all of us become sustainable in our lives, then it will force us to create sustainable assets which will be easy to keep and maintain. And that is a small philosophical talk that I gave. I do not know whether Raghuveer agrees with it and whether it was useful, but this is what I wanted to talk on. Thank you very much. I really appreciate, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Padma Shri Dr. Rajvanshi, for that enlightening address. It was indeed a great pleasure listening to you and your words. We are truly delighted. Your insights are truly valuable. Now, we will have a report on the International Conference on Maintenance and Intelligent Asset Management by Dr. Ganesh, a dedicated member of AMSI. Dr. Ganesh, over to you, sir.